In this episode, join us as we explore the New South Wales Wild West at Silverton and Broken Hill and witness some stunning sunsets before continuing on our Darling River run. We arrived at Broken Hill and headed straight for the Broken Hill Regional Event Centre, where we got an unpowered site for $25 a night with some access to water but not permanently attached. There's some great little murals to check out around the Regional Event Centre. Once we'd set up camp, we headed for the line of load. Broken Hill was given its name because it actually consisted of a number of hills that appeared to have a break in them. The Broken Hill no longer exists as it's been mined away. On top of the line of load is the Miners' Memorial, an icon in Broken Hill and the mining industry, and a tribute to the human tragedy of more than 800 deaths that have occurred in mining in Broken Hill since 1883. The line of load itself is an ore body that bisects the town. The visitor centre is currently not offering any services, but there is the big bench seat up there that you can check out. There's also some of the buckets that are used to lower people and equipment down into the mine on display, and you get great views across the town. Miners' Memorial is dedicated to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice to the city of Broken Hill. Each of the roses represents the death of a person. There's over 800 here. The youngest we found was a 12-year-old back in the 1800s. And there was a marked decrease in the amount of deaths after the 1920s, 1940s. The most recent death on there was 2019, somebody crushed by machinery. That's a lot of people who gave their lives to mining. We next headed to Kintor Reserve, where we saw Prohart's The Workers. The Workers represents the varied facial expressions of the myriad of human emotions experienced by the mine workers. The faces are mounted on stylised square sets which were employed to support the underground workings. You'll also find a wooden head frame that was relocated from the Kintor shaft of the Central Mine in 1984 to make way for open cut mining activities. The shaft was named after the Earl of Kintor, the first chairman of the Central Mine. On a more fun note, our next stop was the hotel that was used as a stopover in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And who doesn't love that movie? I'm a bit of an ABBA fan and love 80s music. It's interesting to note that there's been almost 24 movies and miniseries filmed around Broken Hill and Silverton. We enjoyed a delicious lunch at the hotel and took photos of the interior, having a look at all the murals. They do ask for a donation if you're not having something to eat there. There's also a lot of other murals around Broken Hill, and here's just a few of them. And another big thing, the Big Ant, which is also located near the Kintor Reserve. Next on our bucket list was a trip out to Silverton. There's a lot of dips in the road on the way out, so just take it easy. going to take the love child home, do you? The VW. It's worth noting at this point that Broken Hill and Silverton are actually on South Australian time. That's due to the train lines that used to service from Adelaide to Sydney, and it was easier keeping Broken Hill on SA time. We arrived too early for the museum and the gallery to be open, so headed over to the bakery and had a cuppa and something to eat, and then went over to the John Dinan Art Gallery and enjoyed the gallery, meeting John himself. Interesting man. We love the emu art and it really fits in with our Corker Adventures emu mascot. Next up was a visit to the Mad Max Museum. This museum's dedicated to the post-apocalyptic movie with photos and props, replica and original vehicles. You're not allowed to do any footage inside the actual building and the exhibits in there, but you are in the external area where all the vehicles are. There's a lot of interesting information about the making of Mad Max and also about things that happened during the filming, and it's really well worth having a look, even if you're not a Mad Max fan. I was a bit sceptical, but we had a great time at the museum and loved meeting the Mad Pom who started it all just from a passion of Mad Max 2. Monday lookout. Just over that rise there is where the rollover scene from Mad Max was filmed. We'll go there in a minute. And actually in the distance there, that's the Flinders Ranges. That's the stretch of road where the rollover was recreated, or created, in Mad Max 2. And that bend there. There's in the hope that we can find some little remnant of the Man Back scene. He's picked up prickles though. Another prickle, honey? Weren't in a rush to cross the road. Oh, it's all just too much. Watch out, this one's coming. Held up by a donkey. Alright, I'll get out the way. Pretty cool. Apart from the Silverton Hotel, the bakery and the Mad Max 2 Museum, you'll find a few galleries around Silverton that you can drop in and have a look at what they've got on offer. And I have never seen so many VW cars in one town of such a small size. In the early 1900s, open carriages would be filled with eager people to go out to Silverton to Penrose Park, where they would have picnics along the creek there. In 1915, 2 Turkish sympathisers ambushed one of the open trains, killing 4 civilians and injuring many more. It was the only hostility on Australian soil in World War I. They hid their guns in an ice cream cart that they'd used to deliver ice cream around Broken Hill. The attackers eventually withdrew 3 kilometres away from the site to White Rocks, where a civilian group of volunteer riflers and the police hunted them down and killed them. Broken Hill Sculpture Symposium, 2nd of April 93 to May 23rd 93, officially opened by Hugh Schultz, and all the names of the sculptors, with Broken Hill in the background. This is the most poignant one to me. This one, the artist started sculpting a bird reaching for the sky during a symposium and went home. It was representing his daughter, and he went home and his daughter died shortly after of viral meningitis, so the sculpture's been left unfinished as a metaphor for the child's brief life. This is in the Living Sculptures Park in the Cultural Walk area. The rock formations are all over the place. This goes down into another little gully going down the hill. Highly recommend doing this walk. This is the big picture. It's 100 metres by Ando. This is the Darling River at Wilcannia. We're at Victory Caravan Park. It's a council run one. Check out that tree. That section has fallen into this tree. They're still growing. Both of them are. Really steep banks here in Wilcannia. This one down. We're at Wilcannia and we were going to head up the Darling River up to Tilpa and Louth and then Burke. This is the weather that we're faced with. Beautiful weather to do it. But the forecast over the next 3 days, is up to about 30 millimetres of rain. So all the roads have been closed, just in case. We're not going to sit out and wait for 3 days, we're just going to head over to Cobar. So really check out what's the long rain forecast if you want to do the Darling River run. Join us for our next episode where we get ourselves into hot water.